Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today news headline was not posted. News headline was not posted. अच्छा, आज miss हो गया. I'll check. So I've not submitted yesterday's assignments. Sneha says because of headache and everything. Okay, Sneha. I hope you recover fast. And people who have submitted their assignments, I've had a look at some of them. Some of them are still remaining. So that is the Vishan sir. I just finished all 3 classes of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from recordings. I've also attempted practice test and the last class, but could only able to finish 2 questions. Perfect. As I said, I wanted everyone to try answer writing in the last class. That was the last class of population geography. People who missed that, people who did not attend the class before. Yesterday we ended the topic of political geography, population geography, and then we decided at the end of the topic we should also practice some answer writing. So people who tried answer writing, I expected you to write all 3 to experience what are the challenges. जो लोग कर पाए अच्छी बात है. People who were not able to do that, then I discussed in detail. So just in case you missed that, it is a very, very important exercise. Lecture number 43 of this course is a very, very important exercise for answer writing. Get that? So Abhishan sir, jo ho gaya, that's okay. I hope you looked at the discussion and benefited from that also. It says I was unable to take live yesterday, but I did the recording and completed all assignments. Although I did not do the final evaluation of evaluation of 2010 NPP, but I'm still a bit confused because it was given as a goal in Khuller and on internet also. चलिए ठीक है देखते हैं. Good afternoon, Rakesh, and all others who have joined in. Says the map-based question of MMP test is based on current affairs or random locations. Well, MMP test they are on current also, and they are also on standard locations. दोनों तरफ से आएगा. We will have standard locations as well as contemporary locations. Rafin sir, due to overlap of GS classes, I wasn't able to watch the live classes. Watch them in the last 2 days. I'll be okay here, so please participate in all those exercises. So first 5 minutes are as usual your time. If you have any questions, please ask. So today, what am I going to do? I'm going to talk about a new topic, political geography. I've already introduced the concept of geopolitics in paper 1. Now, many of you are new and you have joined me from paper 2. So I will bring in the idea of geopolitics once again. Because it is a continuation from paper 1, after the syllabus analysis, I will first go towards geopolitics, and today I've chosen the topic, geopolitics of Indian Ocean. We will also try to write an answer on that. Is everyone okay with that? That's about geopolitics. Then I will take you towards, we'll have a break, small little break in between, and then I'll do the topic number 2, which is the geographical basis of Indian federalism or federation. I did the recording, I was able to attempt only 2, but with sufficient content, and I have compared them with MMP answers. Okay, Neeraj, that's good. But again, I said, when you do only two with sufficient content, so I get this idea कि आप लोगों ने किसी तरह से 2 आंसर लिखे. Idea is to get 3 answers. So try doing that, but that's okay. Is everyone okay? Sorry. So if any more questions, please ask. Then I'll start in 2 minutes. Quickly, if you have any question, please ask. 2 more minutes. If you have any questions, please ask. Klinika, good afternoon, and good afternoon to all. We are starting a new topic, just waiting for all of you. If you have any questions, please ask. So written the evaluation of population policy in terms of achievements and limitations. Is that okay? Yes, that is okay. So evaluation means check up on goals we are able to achieve or not made in National Population Policy (NPP). Yes, definitely it will be on parameters, what goals we had set and what are we getting into that. बिल्कुल वो उसी पर होने वाला है. Is everyone okay with that? So that is going to be there. So there's nothing, then let me start, and I will definitely give you a sample of that also. कैसे करना है वो भी एक sample आएगा. ठीक है? चल. Let's first look at the syllabus. So people who are joining in, this is a new topic. You can very well see that this syllabus has an overlap with IR issues also. IR, India and its neighbors. India and its neighbors, and also on internal security. Also on internal security. How is it? I'm going to look into that also. So everyone, geographical basis, when we are talking about geographical basis of Indian federalism, why is India a federal state? Why we are not just a unitary system? Why did we opt for that? And is there any geographical basis for that? Is there any geographical basis for that? And geographical basis, I hope a smart student would look at this. Geographical basis would include both physical and human geography. Okay? Now we come to an interrelated question, that if there is federalism, then we went for state reorganization. Remember, we went for state reorganization. What was that? That was a linguistic basis. Heard of that linguistic basis of state reorganization in India? So Indian states were reorganized on the basis of language. Yeah, that post-independence, whatever we inherited. First of all, we had a lot of British administered territories. Then we had the princely states also. And then we also wanted to see India as a nation. So we had thought of that idea of going for, very clearly in this, that what should be our idea going for, what kind of a state, a unitary state or a federal. So we went for a federal state, and the states were created on the basis of reorganization. Okay, reorganization happened. Should we read some history also? So can I say this is also an issue of post-independence history? So can I say I will have to study the political history of India? Do you understand why human geography is a challenge? Why human geography is a challenge? Why students are just mugging up things? Before this, what we were doing, population geography, had an overlap with sociology. Did I look at that? Did I look at the sociology and culture? And did you see that to complete that whole syllabus, I could not just have given you, dictated some points and moved on. I'm sure after reading population geography, your understanding about things, understanding about this area would have increased. So वो तो definitely बढ़ा या नहीं बढ़ा? अब हम एक और काम करने वाले हैं. We'll add to it. We will see how Indian states were created. What was the history? Why did we go into this idea of a federal system? क्यों हमने किया? And who gave us this idea of going for a federal system? Did we look across? Did we copy it from other places, other constitutions? Remember, that's also there. So was it just that we were copying from some constitution, or was it a natural, organic development, the demand for a federal system of governance in India? So that's what we are talking about. तो यहाँ पर एक और चीज आती है, emergence of new states. When I talk about Jharkhand, when I talk about Telangana, do you think they are created on linguistic basis? These are non-linguistic. True or not? In fact, the demand for dividing Uttar Pradesh into smaller units, that is not based on linguistic, that is based on administrative convenience. The idea of creation of Vidarbha and Marathwada out of Maharashtra is not linguistic. Do we get that? And do we see that linguistic basis now that you've learned a lot about, things like where we are talking about we talk about migration, assimilation, cultural interactions, and all that? Do you think that the states can now strictly be kept only on linguistic basis? अब देखो इतना सारा mixing हो रहा है, cultural assimilation is happening, so we just can't have it only on that basis. So this is one idea which I would want you to think and consider. Is everyone with me on this? Yes. चलिए, इसके बाद क्या होता है? When newer things come, regional consciousness and interstate issues develop. Do they develop or not? We see states fighting on the border. We saw on the border of northeast states आपस में fight हो रहा है. Yes. We saw on the border of Maharashtra, Karnataka, there was a fight over there. So we need to look into these issues. Yes. River disputes are already there. If I'm looking at, this is political geography, so many irritants are there. River water dispute is there, water sharing dispute is there, power related issues are there, mineral related issues are there. I would to even say, like selling of agricultural produce, that also, those issues are always there. So what we are talking about is in sub issues को ध्यान में रखते हुए this syllabus has been created. Can you see the challenge of geography syllabus lies in this? Challenge is not just कि जो पूछ रहा है उतने पे खत्म करना. The challenge is much more than that. Do we get that? अच्छा ठीक है. अब ये तो internal हो गया. Let us look at external also. Can I say this is the internal politics? This is the external politics. International boundary of India and related issues. And when I'm talking about boundary should be like land frontier, and even the maritime boundary. True or not? So should I be teaching you about the border disputes, Indo-Pak and all those things? No, I don't think so that I have to teach you the border disputes. That you can take from that. So can I say IR, India and its neighbor, the border relations? India's role in world affair. Yes, no, विश्व गुरु अमृत काल, हमारे बिना मेरे ख्याल से पुतिन डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रहा है, ऐसा सुना आपने? Did you come across this? Cross border terrorism, geopolitics of South Asia and Indian Ocean. Now this is the world that we are talking about. Is the syllabus very GS oriented? True or not? The syllabus is highly GS oriented, and what do we have to do if we want to make a difference in this? अगर इसमें कुछ भी difference लाना है, so we will have to go beyond GS. We have to make it geographical. How do we make it? One is by political thinkers. बेटा प्रियंक मैप से आगे बढ़ जाओ, सिर्फ मैप नहीं, अगर सिर्फ मैप होता तो बात ही क्या थी. We have to use geographical thinkers, we have to use geographical terms, and definitely map, current examples, ये तो रखना ही पड़ेगा. Does everyone get that? So this is one thing which I want everyone to keep in mind so that you are aware of what we are doing. Everyone with me on this? If any questions, please ask. Are we clear? चलिए. So आज हम क्या करेंगे? What we will do? We will try and look into this topic today. One from India and one from outside India. For that, I will need to get into the terms. So that is why I will be bringing the terms first to you. So geopolitics, what is it? That is it. Now coming to where we had left yesterday. एक कल का leftover है. We will look at these questions once we are done with that. ठीक है? So previous lecture topic. So previous lecture was on population. If you missed that population, that was lecture 43. Special lecture on answer writing. Also, we had our first unit test in this. Till now, I'm just giving you one question at a time. But this we had first unit test where we had written answers to 3 questions. So if you missed that, make sure you go into that, and lecture 43, you will get it in the course on paper 2. So national population policy, this is what we were talking about. So we had talked about the Swaminathan committee, and this report was submitted in 1994. This talked about welfare of people. So we had talked about this, and it is universalizing of primary education, healthcare, yes, marriages of the girl, birth control services, to make everyone aware of birth control methods and make decisions on family planning, and also the health indicators, infant mortality and maternal mortality. This is what they are talking about. Is everyone with me? This is what they are talking about, and this is what we also need to consider. National population policy and other things, which if you ask me, I am also interested in getting an answer on this. Everyone with me on this? Now I have to assess this. So ये तो हो गया था कल. So I had requested for submission. So एक submission मैं student submission share कर रहा हूँ. So this is student submission. So many of you have submitted. You might be wondering, sir, मेरा कब देखेंगे? So I've already told you that this is how you could have submitted. As I said, first find out. First find out what is the policy. So the policy objectives were immediate objective to meet all the unmet needs of contraception and healthcare. Can we see that the Swaminathan committee was also talking about that only? So 1994, Swaminathan committee wanted this to happen. Get that? And I also want to tell you that Planning Commission, as per Planning Commission, 20% of births in India are due to unmet needs of contraception, and another 20% births are because of poor healthcare. Everyone with me on this? Everyone with me on this? So if you are with me on this, so I have a very simple thing to tell you. I have a very, very simple thing to tell you. That keeping this in mind, the population policy said that if we are talking about welfare, first we must provide this. Then for within a decade, this is the, can I say this is the decadal target? Decadal target. So if we do this, we should start seeing the good results. Ye hamari umeed thi that we should start seeing the good results. So we were hoping that good results will start coming if we do this. Perfect. That was a good thing. So we expected 2010 that TFR would be 2.1. Did we meet this? No. Not achieved. So this is one parameter on which evaluation will go. So short term, what we were looking at, let's provide contraceptive needs, whatever is there, and healthcare, and let's achieve this. So this was very well, like statistically it was decided this will be achieved. But the fact is that the contraceptive or contraception needs and the healthcare needs were not able to be provided as we had desired, and especially where? In the EAG states. Yes or no? And can I say these states have the veto? So any policy that we are talking about, whether it will be successful or failure, will depend on this. So इसके बहुत clear depend करेगा. So as a result, it was seen that this was not achieved and we could not reach that. Is everyone with me on this? Are we clear? Now, what was the long-term objective? So the long-term objective was to achieve population stabilization by 2045. 2045 तक stabilization आ जाएगा. So now tell me, do we have something in this direction? Can I put a tick mark on this direction? Because recent NFHS survey tells us that our TFR has come down. Is everyone with me? List of targets. So they had given targets. Also address the unmet needs. There should be free and compulsory education for age up to 14, which is already there. Reduce IMR below 30. That has also been achieved. MMR below 100. That has also been achieved. Achieve universal immunization for children against preventable diseases. I think to a large extent, at that time, we were more concerned about pulse polio and other things. Maybe to a large extent, it is achieved. Promote delayed marriage in girls. Well, this is a social issues. I would say that it is being promoted, but in certain pockets that's there. Achieve 80% institutional deliveries, 100% deliveries by trained person. So इसमें हमने कहा कि जो we are looking at the health worker. Yes, आंगनवाड़ीज में health worker. So can I say this also tick, but a question mark. Universal access to information and counseling on fertility regulation, on contraceptive. People should be aware. पूरा access information देना चाहिए. तो वो भी हमें दिखाई देता है. That's also there. Achieve 100% registration for birth, death, marriages, and pregnancies. Well, if they are institutional, we will be looking at that. So this is the policy. Abhi kuch aur bhi hai. I will bring that also. But everyone tell me, short term, because of this national population policy, can I say healthcare infra is being put in place? Yes or no? Awareness is there. Is the country aware about the population? That if we have too much of a population, it will create problems. Yes or no? Is the awareness also there? Do we all agree? So awareness is there, other things are also there, healthcare infra is also being put in place, and those targets are there, and NFHS is saying that we are being achieved in this. So when you are evaluating this, when people ask me, sir, on what parameters we will evaluate, you will say that on the parameters of creating healthcare, we have done well. On creating awareness, we have done well. On reaching the target by 2010, no, we have not been able to reach that. The reason being the EAG, the performance in the EAG states was relatively slower than expected. Can I go on that also? Do we agree? Everyone? Do we agree on that? So that's also something we agree on. Next, what I can see is that apart from this, the recent NFHS survey clearly tells us, that we are on the path, we are on the right path in this also. Yes, this part where we said, like free and compulsory education, has this part also been there? Can I say legal measures have also been taken there? Can I say administrative instruments have also been created? So that has been created. So I would say the policy has worked to a large extent. Why these question marks? Why these question marks? Because it has not worked 100%. Why not work 100%? Can anyone tell me? Simple, that the population or the fertility control is not an external control. It is connected to the variables of literacy, awareness, and socio-economic upliftment. Do we see poverty still in a lot of population and certain areas? Yes or no? Very clearly poverty is there. Very clearly can we see ignorance? Can we also see, at times even rumors have done some magic in this? Yes or no? Do we also see that not all deliveries are still institutional? Do we also see there are certain socio-cultural vices which still continue, say for example, against the girl child? Are they a reality or not? Preference for a male child, is that a reality or not? So I say, as a policy, it has gone fairly well in directing it, in having the things in place. But if you ask me, the outcomes will be missed. Is everyone okay? So there have been spatial variations. Yes, spatial variation, जो हमने कहा EAG, non-EAG, that is going to be there. Okay? Contain the spread of AIDS. Promote greater integration between management and reproductive tract infections, RTIs, sexual transmitted infections, and national AIDS control. I think to that extent, India has been successful in containing AIDS. Yes. Prevent and control communicable diseases. Integrate Indian system of medicine in the provision of reproductive and child health care, reaching out to household. These are all the long-term goals. Who has submitted? Student submission. This is a student submission. So everyone, there are people who are doing this. So you have also submitted your this thing. So every day I give you some homework. I also try to bring in what others have done where you can use it. Promote vigorously small family norm convergence of related social sector programs so that family welfare becomes. Now all this is old. When was this given? This was given in year 2000. So purana ho gaya. All this is old. But do we have at one place? That was the intention of the homework. So this person has it and it is there now as a sample also. So evaluation. Let's look at the evaluation. So IMR target was supposed to be 30% per 1,000 live births. Achieved? Have we achieved or not? Well, SRS 2010-2011 showed it was not achieved. It was not achieved till 2010. But I want to tell you now it is achieved. Now it is achieved. जल्दी से बताइए IMR कितना है आपका उसमें? IMR as per NFHS. You will check. You will find it has been achieved. MMR was 100. ठीक है? NFHS में 27 है, 32 है. कोई 32 बोल रहा है, कोई 35 बोल रहा है, 30, 35. I'm saying it is close to that. So 35. Some people are saying 35. I would say that it has reached around 30. Around 30. That's where we are. Do we get that? So I would say that we have come in closer. But yes, by 2010, the target which was there, decadal target, was missed. Okay. Now let us look at this MMR, maternal mortality rate, 100 achieved. Decadal was 178. Can I say this was also decadal missed? Abhi kitna jaldi se bataiye? How much is the MMR? Abhi it is around 103. So can I say it is almost there? So what has happened is, 103, 105 doesn't matter. The data keeps on going up. So 30, 32 doesn't matter. 30, 32. Can I say by 2020, we have come closer. By 2020, because NFHS data is also 2019. So by 2020, instead of 2010, is that okay? Quantitative assessment, also evaluation if you have to do. So the targets were kept for a decade, but that were not achieved in a decade, was achieved in 2020. Can I again come to the conclusion that India has been slow in achieving the targets, and this slow, the way we have been slow has been a result of what? It has been a result of a huge geographical diversity, and the EAG states their performance. Is everyone okay? Am I bringing the geographical aspect also? Quantitative aspect also? And today, since I'm having this lecture in 2022 with you, I have this advantage to even say that 2010 decadal targets were not met, but by 2020 we have reached there. Again saying the same thing, by 2010 the TFR target was also missed. It was 2.6, but by 2020, can I say it has come to 2.0? So 2020 mein population stabilization, census 2001, population was 102 crore and 121 crore, 17.6, less chance for stabilization by 2045 at this rate. At this rate, it won't, but now that the data which we are looking at, I think we would reach stabilization. Is everyone okay? By 2050, we should reach stabilization. So everyone, do you have a quantitative evaluation also? If a question comes on evaluate the population policies, do you have a qualitative aspect? Do you have a quantitative aspect? And is it sensible to do these homeworks which I give you and make them a part of your notes? You don't have to run from pillar to post apart from the class discussion. आपका NFHS कई जगह पर use होगा, so why not keep that data with you? Okay, that NFHS 5 was based up to data up to 2019, 17 to 19 या 16 to 19 का data था. Is everyone okay with this? What to write? In evaluation, you should also praise and you should find out what are the limitations. I think since 1952, we were the first country in the world to have an official family welfare program. Is that a fact or not? Evaluation, if it comes of total overall national population policies, say for example 1976 or 2000, if we are looking at whatever is there, we were aware. So can I say we were proactive on this? Yes. Initiatives were organized at government level for a long time. As a result, family planning methods have become popular. Can I deny that? They have been. People are aware of that. Whether they are available or not, there are shortcomings, unmet needs are there. I agree, but they are popular. India already has adequate infrastructure for family planning. Do we have adequate infrastructure? Can I say people may not reach it? I'm saying, accessibility is low, but that has been put in the place. So that foundation of infrastructure is needed that India has created. Main problem remains illiteracy. Many people are still uneducated. Even at the beginning of 21st century, we had how much? Around 27 crores. The number of illiterates, absolute number, as per 2011 census, is around 27 crores are still illiterate. They should be provided education, health, and birth control. Then only that will happen. Despite limitations, we cannot ignore the aspect of family planning success. Family planning has gained momentum and importance in some states due to government initiative. Southern states already, can I say EAG, are falling in line. I will quote from here NFHS 5 data that the growth rate is definitely going down. When the standard of living improves, people will lean towards family. As a result, the population will naturally decrease. Okay? Once again, if education and family welfare education are spread, people will automatically become enthusiastic about birth control. So that's my assessment. I have the data assessment. I've also taken the student submission and I've added to it that what should be written in the answer, because this answer will be written in 2022. You have the data points. 4 of them are the data points. You can also say by next year, India would be the most populous one. However, definitely there are signs of Indian population stabilizing. We are at least reaching the replacement level on account of these population policies. Is everyone okay? Population policies had their limitations. They were looking for one solution for everywhere. They were not region specific. Yes, they were looking for some targets where at times bureaucracy was just busy ticking the target. In between, we also went a little bit coercive. That went counterproductive. So all those things, if they are brought in the answer will have that element of data. The answer will have that element of map. Map kahan se aa jayega? EAG versus non-EAG can always come. True or not? Can we always talk about that? So this is about national population policy. And let me come to political geography. Do we get that? So let us come to the topic of the day. But as I said, that one topic was left and I wanted you to think, and I'm so glad that most of you took on the challenge. You wrote the homework also, and some of you who missed the class, you wrote the test also. So that was important. So this is geopolitical theory. Jisme O is missing. Now the O is also there. So this becomes geopolitical theory. So can we use SDG data? कौन सा data use करना है? Agastya, tell me. Which SDG data you want to use? Which one you want to use? Use तो आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. But which one do you want to use? That is my question. So Vesta, till you give the answer, let me throw a question at the class. Geography plus politics. Gives terms like this: geopolitics, geoeconomics. What does this combination mean? क्या है ये combination? What's the benefit of this combination? Quickly. What is the benefit of this combination? What is this combination that they're talking of? Agastya, you don't know anything. You are just unnecessarily putting in SDG data. If you have some data, talk about it. Get that? So unnecessarily don't just for entertainment put that. So can we put this? Can we put that? You can put anything. Yeah, you should have something. I've already talked about security of the country. So why is security coming? I did not mean security. No. Geography playing an important role. Okay, geography playing an important role. Geography playing an important role. Okay, Livraj, geography in international politics because of geography. Geography influencing politics. Spatial analysis, Sneha, spatial analysis is geography in itself. Akriti is saying geographical factors. No, no, no. So everyone, tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. If the word geography is removed, then also politics talks about the Ukrainian-Russian war. Does it not talk about that or no? Does politics also talk about the diplomacy which will happen with the NATO and non-NATO countries? That will happen. Economics, we are looking at, because of this Ukrainian war, the wheat prices, global wheat prices have increased. The global supply of fertilizers have been impacted. Another thing that has been impacted is the fuel energy supplies. So those are there already in politics and economics. So geography is there. Why attach geography to them? Get it? So here the idea is that politics that arises out of geography, politics that arises out of geography. Politics remains like that. Politics remains like that. So politics that arises out of geography is there. Say, for example, everyone, I want to tell you, 9/11 attacks happened. 9/11 attacks happened, and we saw Osama bin Laden from Afghanistan coordinating them. Get that? US was totally inflamed. कि अब हम बदला लेंगे. Get that? Now Afghanistan is in Asia. Afghanistan is touching South Asia. Yes or no? Touching South Asia. So now India said, don't worry, US, you are a democracy, we are a democracy, long, big democracies. This is the Mauka, we are your friend. Ajao, we will help you. Yes or no? India is always there to help. So US said, okay, we are thanking you, and we will take your help if needed. We said, no, we are the ones who have been hit by terrorism. We are not only offering you help, but we are the same case as you. This is a Mauka to show the world. This is a Mauka to show the world that how terrorism is a big problem to the world. And now US is joining the party. India was very happy to offer. And we said this Pakistan fellow will also get a message that they would stop doing problems with India. US said, very good, thank you. US came and US chose Pakistan as their ally. India was like, shocked, kya ho gaya? Matlab, how come? No, Pakistan needs billions of dollars. Was given as aid to Pakistan, armed forces and US forces came, everything came. Pakistan said, hum to hai pehle se friend hai. What happened suddenly? Suddenly what happened? India was there offering, and I'm talking about an old thing. What happened that we thought it will be one bullet and two targets? One is we will also become friends with US. US will be an ally with us. And second is Pakistan also will be taught a lesson, and the world will be told that terrorism should be controlled. Why did US come and align with Pakistan? Quickly tell me. US was with India. Yes or no? This is Afghanistan. Moment US saw the map, they said Pakistan is closer. Afghanistan से तो इंडिया का just एक थोड़ा सा हिस्सा कश्मीर का ही तो टच करता है. True or not? Which one is better placed? Whose geography is more favorable? Pakistan's geography is more favorable. Yes or no? So the politics that came because of that is there. But we were like let down a little bit. But then we thought that it's okay. Pakistan अपने रंग दिखाएगा. Pakistan showed true colors. And US finally was disenchanted with Pakistan. They said, ठीक है, हटो Pakistan, we don't need you. Afghanistan में अपना base है. We'll talk to India. And later on, Indo-US nuclear deal happened, and India and US came much closer. And Pakistan, you can hear what Imran Khan was saying about America before he was, no confidence motion was passed against him. That America is the one who is, coming in and taking care of our whole foreign policy and all that. Do we get that? So Pakistan went into America bashing thereafter. But do we see the geography of this? Another example I want to give you. Turkey is very, very important for Europe. Turkey is very important for Europe because of its geography. What is it? Even if Erdogan does so many things which violates human rights over there, we don't say anything. Chalta hai. Why? See if Marmara, connectivity. It connects Asia to Europe. It does connect, but what is it? It is the entry point to Europe for migrants, illegal migrant, European migration crisis. I told you that also. Europe says we'll pay you for that. Unko wahin par roko. Yes or no? Will other countries be interested? Yeah, Lebanon also says hum bhi interested. And they said, oh, no, Lebanon se nahi aa raha. Kahan se aa raha hai? Idhar se aa raha hai. True or not? So does its geography give it an advantage or not? Geopolitics. True or not? India is located at the head of Indian Ocean. India is so strategically located at the head of Indian Ocean that in all directions it can monitor Indian Ocean. True or not? Does that location give us a geopolitical advantage? True or not? This is what is geopolitics. Geography controlling politics. Okay. Another example I want to give you. Can you identify this point A and point B? Yes. Point A and point B. There is a very, very famous strait located over here. What is this strait? Gibraltar. It connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Mediterranean Sea. Yes or no? Not only that, a lot of European trade with Asia comes through this. Very, very important. And we also have another strategic location over here. What is this? Suez Canal. Tell me, because of Suez Canal in Egypt, does Egypt enjoy a geopolitical significance or not? Not only geopolitical, can I say this is also global economics is dependent on that? Global economics, geoeconomics. Have you heard such straits are called choke points? Have you heard such places are called choke points? You can control the trade. Geography giving you say on the economy of the world. That is called geoeconomics. Do you get that? Which country is this? Spain. Which country is this? Morocco. Spain and Morocco. But I want to tell you, A belongs to UK. Gibraltar is the territory of UK. And B, Ceuta is the territory of Spain. Can you see geopolitics? How important, geopolitical important locations are these? These locations are very important, so those countries are looking at that. ऐसा ही कुछ इंडिया के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आता है when we are talking about Sumatra, Java, and this is Nicobar or Great Nicobar Island. Yes, what is this? Sumatra. This is Java. Yes, and this is Borneo. And what do we have here? Which strait is this? Malacca Strait. और हमारा ग्रेट निकोबार और सुमात्रा में जो चैनल है उसको क्या बोलते हैं? What do we call that? Great Channel. Can I say this is also a choke point? Yes or no? Choke point, you can monitor what is entering Indian Ocean, what is entering Indian Ocean, what is leaving Indian Ocean. यहाँ से दिख जाएगा. True. So Malacca Strait, Great Channel, Strait of Gibraltar, Strait of क्या है आपका बाबल मंडप जो अफ्रीका से आता है. Yes, Strait of Hormuz going to your Persian Gulf. Did you understand what is geopolitics? Do we get that? Geopolitics. Everyone, the areas that Russia is occupying from Ukraine, including Crimean Peninsula. If you know Crimean Peninsula, Russia occupied Crimea for some reason because that is the entry point to Black Sea. Entry point to Black Sea. Do we understand? China trying to get into that Pangong Tso region. Why? Geopolitically, that part is important. Another area that we saw was near the Chumbi, where we had Bhutan wala. ये जो हमारा सिक्किम और भूटान है, डोकलाम क्राइसिस. Bhutan, Sikkim, India, and China making its presence, trying to get into this area, this narrow area that we are talking of. Yes, so Doklam region. Geopolitics, is everyone okay with geopolitics now? So it is not just that resources are there. Resources are there, that's economics. Yes or no? No, it is the spatial study of that region. No. Because of your location, you become important. Because of your location with respect to Afghanistan, Pakistan became the frontline state against terrorism. Yes or no? US coalition against terrorism. US made an international coalition against terrorism and made Pakistan as the frontline state. And Indians were holding their head, like in disbelief. Pakistan, frontline state, war against terror. So that's what I'm saying. Why? Because of their geopolitical location, they enjoyed that advantage. Is everyone okay? Do we understand what is geopolitics? Can I say Russia landing its nuclear armed missiles in Cuba was a geopolitical crisis? Yes or no? If geography has an impact on polity, economy, to the extent that it can impact your security also, political border security as well as economic security, that can also be called as geostrategic. Do we understand? Can I say Andaman and Nicobars have a geostrategic significance for India? Do we get that? Geostrategic significance for India. So strategic means our defense also. We are looking at that, what is happening, the movement that we would look at. So those are called geostrategic. So much so that for very long, Indian Ocean was called a British lake. Indian Ocean was called a British lake because Britishers had almost all their colonies on the periphery. जो Britishers चाहते थे वो हो गया. Is everyone okay? When the British imperialism ended after Second World War, so British people left Indian Ocean. They left Indian Ocean, and immediately, moment you leave such an important area, will more powers try to come or not? Have you heard of a place called Diego Garcia? American US naval base, leased out by the Britishers to US. So now US also started coming in. French people were already there. They were having this thing. Russians and Chinese also decided. So what India did? India went to UN. They said this is very wrong. Let us not replace Britishers with more people. Let us have some international law that will stop this militarization, acquisition of Indian Ocean. We, at the head of the Indian Ocean, request UN to look into this, that countries which do not have a genuine coastline, coastal interest in Indian Ocean should not be allowed to set up their bases. Is it valid? Does it make sense? So all countries who are on the rim, on the periphery of Indian Ocean, if you want to do something, you are allowed. Yes or no? But if China wants to set up a post over here, that is not fair. So countries which do not have a genuine border maritime interest, they should not be allowed to do that. And under UN, that was approved, and that is one very big achievement, and that goes into the geostrategic favor of India. Is everyone okay with geoeconomics, geopolitics, geostrategy? Can it come in your language? Can it come in your vocabulary? As I said, your words have to be what? Jargonized, geographical, to make your answer more mark fetching. आपको एक और वर्ड बताना चाहता हूं कि this word geopolitics came from a Swedish geographer, Jelen. So ये word भी आ रहा है, geographer से आ रहा है. And the person who's called the father of political geography, who's he? क्या बताया था आपको? Ratzel. He wrote a book called Politische Geography. German geographer, Politische Geography, where he gave the conceptualization of Lebensraum. क्या है ये भी बताऊंगा. So a student who wants good marks in political geography and wants to show the examiner that I am not just theoretical knowledge, I just don't have the theoretical knowledge, or not just GS answer. If you really want to make your answer different, what will you have to do? You will have to put certain vocabulary, jargons, and some scholars. So have I given you some names? Everyone, do you have some names? क्या है ये concept? मैं repeat कर रहा हूँ. I'm going to repeat this concept. I had given this concept in my paper 1 to my students who did paper 1, and I'm very sure, going by your track record, आप सब भूल चुके. Most of you would have forgotten, so I will give you a quick recap also on that. Yes, Lebensraum is a living organismic theory. True. Everyone okay? Geopolitics, geoeconomics, geostrategic. I hope this has been my way of teaching, that before I get into the subject, I go for the vocabulary of that subject. So I have brought that to you also. Then we are looking at some names. So Ratzel is a name which you should use. Lebensraum is a term that you should use. Swedish geographer that you should use. इसके अलावा कुछ और नाम अगर मैं आपको देना चाहूँ, which are in our syllabus also, Mackinder. He gave a theory called heartland theory. Yes, he countered an American geostrategist, Mahan. So Mahan is US, Mackinder is UK. You can use Mackinder also. And then another professor, Stickman, US. He gave a theory which is called the rimland theory. Mahan, Mackinder, Stickman, that should be there. These parts should also be there, and we should be able to use the terms rimland, heartland, and naval power, sea power, land power. Those things are to come into this. Is politics or political theories about who has greater power. Is everyone okay? Have I given you a world of words to pick from? Words, ideas, ये आपके आंसर में आएंगे. Geopolitics. So for the sake of definition, I brought it. फिर आप लोग अपनी definition लिखते. It's a science of relationship between space and politics. Space, geography is a spatial science, no? Which attempts to put geographical knowledge at the service of the political leaders. It is more than political geography. It is not just political geography. Geopolitics, as I told you, geography. Political geography is just theories. Political geography is descriptive. It springs from the national aspirations, searches out facts and principles that can serve. So geopolitics is a tool in the hands of rulers. Get that? The global strategic model implies geographical patterns related to global strategic ideas. So we are going to look at geographical patterns related to strategic ideas. Now, everyone, when I read out these paragraphs, are they difficult or not? And when I was talking about this geography making it politics, or geography giving you that advantage, so that is one thing. First, we understand in basic, easy terms. Then we look at the language also, and this also is available for you. So the slide is given. Why worry? The preoccupation of political geography with the world as a political system has led to the emergence of many models. So as I told you, what models are there for us? We have already looked at the heartland theory and the rimland theory. By the time Ritter and Humboldt, remember these two were the fathers of modern geography, had begun to think of the entire surface of Earth as central subject for geography, this changed geographical perspective had begun to mirror in the strategic writings by the end of 19th century in the writings of Mahan and Mackinder. So Mahan and Mackinder had already started talking about these things, that we must be looking at. Geography is one thing, geography is the surface, but certain areas, because of their spatial locations, have strategic significance. In this, the most important contribution came from Ratzel. So Ratzel ने क्या कहा? Let me First explain that, everyone. So have you heard of Darwin, Charles Darwin, and his statement, survival of the fittest and natural selection? That means nature selects the best. Have you heard of this, everyone? Yes. Survival of the fittest, nature selects. So biology, I heard that. So nature selection, let us look at that. Nature selects the which one? The strong one or the weak one? Strong one or the weak one? Strong one. What happens to the weak one? What happens to the weak one? It dies. This one dies. True or not? This ways, the nature is able to ensure that only the best suited ones will continue. True? Is everyone okay with that? Now this is Darwin's idea. Applies to what? Species, plants and animals. There are people who applied this idea to social sciences also. And Ratzel applied this idea to political science. Yes. And he says that just like the strongest animal will survive, similarly the strongest state or nation will survive. The states which are weaker, they will die. Is everyone okay? What should you do? You should be strong. What is the parameter of being strong? You must expand. Because a strong state expands. Do you agree? So he says, just like an organism, in order to survive, has to be stronger, keeps on working on its strength, a country which wants to survive must keep on expanding. The name organic theory comes to Ratzel's assertion that political entities means states, such as countries, behave in a way not too dissimilar than living organisms. More specifically, to survive, a political entity requires nourishment. Nourishment came in the form of what he coined as Lebensraum, or living space. A state must increase its living space. You must increase your nutrients, your vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, whatever is needed, your nutrients should increase or not. So he says for a state, what is important? Lebensraum, living space is important. The more living space you are having, the more you will survive. Is everyone okay? Are you with me? If that is the case, my question is, Japan must have died. Is it true? And Brazil should have been a very, very strong country by now. It has a huge, huge area. Yes or no? Russia should be the strongest. Second strongest should have been Canada. Third should be US. Yes. Fourth should be China. Fifth should be Brazil. Sixth should be Australia. यही होने चाहिए. Japan तो इसमें आना ही नहीं चाहिए. Should Japan come into the picture? Lebensraum. This is what he said. Can I say, is the theory correct? No, theory is not correct. But can such theories be applied anywhere? Yes or no? Can a गांव का जमींदार apply this theory? Can a गांव का जमींदार apply this theory to justify that how he is hatiyawing land? Yes or no? Today, if I want to spread hatred amongst people, can I start telling them to do this, that if you want to grow, eat into others' living space? हो सकता है? Theory अच्छी है. Yes. Hitler, his advisors gave him this theory. They said, sir, as it is, you want to expand. Yes or no? You want to expand, and there is a theory that can give you justification, theoretical justification to your expansionary ideas, that a state must expand. Russia expansion in Ukraine is same as Lebensraum, can we use this if asked? जबरदस्ती क्यों करो? रशिया ने कहा कि हम लेबनस्ट्रॉम की वजह से कर रहे हैं. Did Russia say to survive we are doing that? तो फिर क्यों करोगे? फिर तो कहीं पर भी किसी का भी टेरिटरी बढ़ेगा तुम बोलोगे लेबनस्ट्रॉम कर रहा था. Yes or no? Get that? Your neighbor buys a plot, he buys another flat. Yes, you say लेबनस्ट्रॉम यार. True or not? नया थोड़ा सा समझ में आया सर, अप्लाई हो सकता है. जबरदस्ती का अप्लाई करोगे तो कुछ भी हो जाएगा. True or not? Yes. So this is what he has done, is he has transferred Darwin to the organismic theory to the state. अब सही गलत पता नहीं, because everyone tell me, Japan has not increased its physical space. Has Japan increased its economic space or not? Yes. And not by having more land, but by more technology. True or not? That's what we are talking about. US, do you think is the world's leader only because of the size of the country? No. There are many more things. So these are very, very old theories. सुनने में romantic लगती हैं. ये आपका नेता कल दे देगा और आप मान जाओगे. True or not? Because this is called half truth. Half knowledge is dangerous. Now you read Lebensraum, anywhere any attack happens, anywhere in Lebensraum, sir, Ratzel ने बोला था. Ratzel का ही तो बोल दे. Ratzel कौन से सही बोल गए थे यार? Think about it. Therefore, we can say that organic theory or organismic theory says that political entities continually seek nourishment in the form of gaining territory to survive, the same way that a living organism seeks nourishment for food to survive. Essentially, the analogy is food for an organism is territory for a country. And more territory it conquers, the more particular political entity can sustain and preserve itself. Let's take example. Did you hear of the Ottoman Empire? Did you hear of the Ottoman Empire? Everyone. Did you hear of Soviet Union? Soviet Union broke and disintegrated also. There was a Cold War, and who won? Soviet Union or US? USSR was broken, disintegrated, yes or no? So it is not necessarily the bigger the size of the country, the stronger it is. That's not a rule. Do we get that? In fact, even today, when we are talking about, even today, if we are talking about India, India is able to engage the world on global trade talks. True or not? That is why we are heard. Otherwise, if we are a country that doesn't have any say in the global trade and global affairs, it will be a big problem. As a result, the organic theory implies that for a political entity to maintain control, it invariably leads to seek out Lebensraum and go out and conquer all the territory. आपने सुना पहले एक हुआ करता था हमारे वैदिक सिविलाइजेशन में, आपने सुना होगा अश्वमेध यज्ञ. Have you heard or not? घोड़ा भेज दो, wherever the horse goes वो सारा मेरा. Others will accept your their dominion under you. अश्वमेध यज्ञ होता था ऐसा. So that was about this. Do we get that? So that was one way. That was one way of telling the world that I am the leader. Either you accept or you fight with me. True. Otherwise, it risks its security. Otherwise, it risks its security and is always vulnerable to attacks because other political entities also behave like organic way and they will grow. One can compare it to competition amongst living organisms for scarce food resource for nourishment. सुनने में मजा आया कि नहीं? Was the theory amazing or not? Yes. Wow, that's great. Do you think Bihar should be afraid that UP will eat it? Do you think Bihar should be afraid that UP will eat it? Why? Because UP should be a curriculum में लगा होना चाहिए Lebensraum. And everyone. Tell me, have you heard of welfare states? Even small state can be a welfare state. Can small states be welfare states? अगर मैं स्वीडन और नॉर्वे की बात करता हूँ, स्वीडन एंड नॉर्वे, they do highest on HDI, yes or no? Are they the biggest states? Are they the biggest states? Can I say the theory? Theory is a highly deterministic theory. Yes. Can an autocrat in a country play with this theory and justify his or her rule in that country? Yes or no? Can Myanmar's military junta say कि देखिए हम तो Ratzel से चल रहे? Hitler was doing that. Yes or no? Do you think is there any chance of democracy under this idea? Any chance? And India has always taken pride in that. अभी भी आपने देखा होगा, even आज के हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर में देखिए, India's UNSC proposal or conversation was that all the sovereignty of all countries should be respected. आज के हिंदू में आया नहीं आया? Our stand is always that the sovereignty, UNSC में India's this thing deliberation was that the sovereignty should be respected. If sovereignty is not respected, then what will happen? Things will continue to happen. Yes or no? Might is right रहेगा. If Russia does it and China goes with Taiwan, yes, what is stopping China not to go after other small little countries like Vietnam and Philippines? They already have issues on South China Sea. True or not? Then world is a fish market. World is a fish market. Now this goes with our socializing. Yes or no? आपने देखा इंडिया में ऐसे लाइन लगी होती है, पीपल आर क्यूइंग अप, और इधर क्या पड़ा होता है? चप्पल रख के जाता है कोई. ऐसे नो, पीपल विल कीप देयर फुटवेयर ऑन दिस. मैं भी खड़ा, ये भगवान राम की तरह अपनी चरण पादुका रख के जाता है. हैव यू सीन दिस आल्सो? एन आइडिया अबाउट स्पेस. नो, मेरा ऑक्यूपाई हो गया. होटल टेबल, देयर इज अ होटल टेबल, यू आर वेटिंग फॉर योर फ्रेंड टू कम. तब तक यहाँ पर क्या रखेगा? बॉक्स, टिश्यू, हैंकरचीफ, कुछ भी डालेगा कि ये टेबल मेरा है. ट्रू और नॉट? डू वी डू दैट और नॉट? एंड वी थिंक दिस इज वेरी हाई डिग्री ऑफ इवोल्यूशन. फोन रख दो, ध्यान से रखना, आरती उठ जाएगा फोन. बहुत स्मार्ट हो गए लोग. नाउ पीपल नो दैट ये लोग अपना फोन रखेंगे. तुम रख के गए हो. देन यू आर सिटिंग ओवर देयर एंड से हाउ कम यू आर देयर? माय चप्पल इज देयर. आफ्टर लॉर्ड राम, दिस इज माय चरण पादुका, आई केप्ट इट. हु आर यू? यू आर नोबडी बट यू वांट टू कंपेयर योरसेल्फ विद लॉर्ड राम. यस नो? भरत वाज कीपिंग चरण पादुका ऑफ भगवान राम, सो व्हाई नॉट? I'm saying ऐसे लोगों को, when such people are told about Ratzel, what do they say? Wow, कितना सही बोल रहा है. ऐसा नो? If you expand, you worth. So अगला क्या करो? सर बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान, सबको जोड़ देंगे. True or not? So think about it. So that's the issue. So श्रीलंका भी ले ले क्या? अखंड भारत चल रहा है. अखंड भारत will continue like this. ऐसे वाले में कितना बढ़िया रहेगा Ratzel. And then you will say you people are ignorant. You don't even know political theorists. We have the god of all political theories. Ratzel कह के गए हमको. ये सुनो, नया छपेगा बुक में, नहीं तो अपना मीडिया चैनल पे आ जाएगा. सुदीप चौधरी will tell you who's Ratzel and what is geopolitics. Let me tell you one more theory today. आइए आज हम एक नया सिद्धांत देखेंगे. इसे श्री 1008 Ratzel ने प्रतिपादित किया था. ये सुनो, So everyone, that's just a theory. That's just a theory. Get that? Right or wrong, I don't know, but the idea of geopolitics and political geography comes from here, and you can very well see that he has drawn in from science. Science को इधर लगा दिया. लगाना नहीं लगाना, that's just intent. Geopolitics is a perspective in contemporary politics and international affairs, anchored in geography, history, and culture. Can I say history and culture is the human geography? Is it the physical geography? Yes, so can I say when we talk about Indo-Pak relations are the way they are because of the historical record. Indo-Pak relations are the way they are because of the historical, the partition which we had, the painful memories of that, and then the hatred that was sown in the minds of the people. That was very, very deep. Yes, no? Can I say India and China? Those issues are also not new issues. And add to both of them the British colonial phase. Can I deny that or not? So history has a big role to play. So what my present is, it's also a reflection of what happened in the past, and I cannot reconcile with my past very easily. True or not? That's what we're saying. Past can be a blessing. Past at times can be a curse also. I'm saying let's be value neutral to the past. Blessing or curse, past is past. So past is there. Past has a role to play. World affairs are rooted in the flow of history, legacy of local culture, and of course the concrete reality of geography. You cannot deny the concrete reality of geography. So China's claim on South China Sea, that entire South China Sea belongs to us, is based on what? What reason? It is not geographical. The logic is very, very clearly based on what? On the historical past. They are saying historically our ancestors used to be in this area, so this belongs to us. True or not? अब ये नहीं पता चल रहा कि चाइना के एंसेस्टर थे वो क्या थे. Remember, सबके ancestors तो अफ्रीका से, so it should belong to Africa, Africans. There is competition between anarchic international system and a constant search for power, more power advantage over the other, over space and time. Can we use this also, space and time? Geography and geopolitics plays itself over space as well as time. As I said, why am I not coming to the topic? Because I need to learn this language before I get into this. Geopolitical analysis starts with a map but does not end there. The world is not simple. Deeper reasons for Russia-Ukraine. Can I say that Russia felt insulted with Ukraine siding with the NATO and trying to seek a membership with NATO? True or not? जबकि आप देखेंगे कि Russians and Ukrainians, Ukraine comes out of Russia, former Soviet Union only, no? So it is a CIS country. And the people can also relate to it, but those soldiers come and kill the Ukrainians. True or not? So that's what we're talking about, that despite that history, things are changing because that was the apna nahi jana chahiye. It is about the study of realities and mentalities of the localities. मेरे को अच्छा लगा इसलिए मैंने लिख दिया. Do not use in Excel. I just wanted to show you how to impress. The realities and mentalities of the localities, it doesn't mean anything. Long-term forces that are driving the world. Is everyone okay? Have I talked a lot about geopolitics? Have I talked about Ratzel also? And have I put Ratzel's contribution in perspective? Not that for everything you will write Ratzel. I've seen some teachers telling students, जब भी आए Ratzel लिख दो, because realities and mentalities of the localities will be reflected. ये सब बकवास होता है, इसका कोई फायदा नहीं होता. We must understand what is there. But yes, space and time we must bring in because history and culture have a big role to play in deciding what the strategic relations are. Okay, so what are the theories? Some theories are there. So geopolitical theories were given. They started with Ratzel, and that concept was used many a times. So the idea was that how come a country becomes big? So how was British Empire able to reach such a huge size that they said that the sun never sets in British Empire? Have you heard of that? Sun never sets in the British Empire. They were wondering, ऐसा क्या था? What was it? So in the decade of 1880s to 1910, world geopolitics and the professors were studying that what is that one big idea that was there? What will explain it? In an attempt to understand the social technological advancement of the century, how come big things happened? They were looking for that one thing which is there. What made Britain what it was? So don't you think that Indians also had their armies before the Britishers came here? Yes, sir. By the time the Britishers were coming, I think the Marathas were on the top. Mughal Empire had gone down. Marathas had acquired a lot of prominence, and Marathas were a strong opponent to anyone. True or not? But what was it that Marathas, and not only Marathas, all kings of India failed to deal with them? Divide and rule played out. ऐसा हो गया था, divide and rule से आते ही British, अरे अंदर ही कैसे आया? How did they come inside? So when they looked at it, they found US may first work on historical strategic big thing was by Captain Alfred Mahan. He says influence of sea power on history. Countries which had sea power, they were able to dominate the world, and US, which is a new country which has come on the map of global power after Second World War, what should it focus on? Making a strong navy, naval supremacy. Do we get that? So हम पे attack हो रहा है, and we are not able to counter that because they had navy. And again, as I said, we were supposed to protect our coast also. Strong navies are needed to defend. Okay, this idea was considered very, very important, and it was believed that most of the countries laid a lot of emphasis on having a strong navy. Yes or no? इंडिया का भी आपने सुना है, इंडिया भी अपना एक ब्लू सीज पॉलिसीज में जब हम बात करते हैं, we want a very, very strong navy, and in fact our geopolitical location at the head of Indian Ocean requires us to have a strong navy or not. So this was the idea of Mahan. Mahan was questioned by Mackinder. Mackinder says, yes, navy is important. Navy is important. You can go and reach out to the world, and that time only UK had it. But UK is a very small country. UK is a very, very small country. Those were the times when even a small country could do that. But today, the countries which are big in size and protected from attack from outside, they will be able to hold the power. So why not in the past? He said in the past, transport and communication was not very well developed. But now, because of industrial revolution, new technology, development of telegraph, railroad, it has made the exploitation of resources happy, and it can happen even far away from sea. Therefore, inland areas are more important. Get that? That is why this area is important. And here we had already got, what is this? Germany. Imagine the combination. This is Germany. Is everyone okay? And Germany has a lot of land over here. Russia has a lot of land. Yes or no? And Germany has that idea. What idea? Lebensraum. Will Germany start a war or not? An artifact of this kind, Germans were really inspired. Karl Haushofer, Munich, a professor and former general with Hitler, gave these lectures on Lebensraum and geopolitics. And this is how the idea of World War also went into this. Can you see Mackinder yahan par hai? And Mackinder said that anyone who has this area, what he called this area, the core protected resource rich area is heartland. Anyone who controls heartland controls this whole unit. What is this whole unit? 3 continents. What did he call these 3 connected continents? He called them as world island. Anyone who controls heartland controls the world island. Anyone who controls the world island controls the world. Get that? He says the idea of Mahan is no longer valid. Now land you can move, land has got a lot of resources, and the person who can hold land, and this land especially, which is protected from all sides. This land is protected from all sides. He called this area initially as pivot area, and later on he called this area as the heartland area. Is everyone with me on this? Geographical idea, how geography can give you power. So Mahan's idea, naval. Mackinder's idea, land. This is heartland. Whosoever controls heartland will have the power. Can I say this is also warning the US against USSR? Warning the US against USSR. Particularly during the Cold War, this will be the idea. True or not? So what will happen? US will make allies with all of them. Sabse allies banayega. So that this one does not expand. Have you heard of that idea of containment policy of US? We must contain the spread of communism. That is why the idea of NATO came. NATO. जिसमें definitely India तो जुड़ा नहीं, China भी out of question है. Yes, but others are in alliance or not? Others are in alliance. So this is what we are talking about. Can you see that these are also explanations? These are also explanations that how we can be dealing with the global politics. So Mahan was looking at flexibility and movement by sea, but Mackinder was looking at movement on land, and he said heartland is important. Is everyone okay? So what has this got to do with us? So where are we, everyone? Where are we in this? We are nowhere. We are not in the heartland. But now you can see we are in another area. What is that called as? We are in the rimland. Professor Spickman, he said that I understand this Russia is important, heartland is very, very important, but this is stuck. It was believed that there will be transport and everything, but mobility and other things have not come even till now in Siberia. He said, in fact, most of the action in the world will be in these areas, which he called them rimland. They have the advantage of sea also, and they have the advantage of land also. So it is neither only land, like the heartland theory, nor it is only water navigation, like Mahan's theory. Who has the advantage? Who has both the things? Who has both the things? And that is rimland. So rimland mein aa jayega India. Tell me, today India is important or not? Tell me, China important, Japan important, Southeast Asia important, West Asia important, Turkey important. We are talking about Mediterranean Europe, Spain, Portugal, Italy, France. Are they important or not? In fact, you will find that most of the tensions also are happening in this area. So the third person who comes into the picture is Spickman. He says, what countries are the 3 prominent world powers if we are talking about today? Is China a power or not? Is China a part of heartland? China is not a part of heartland. Yes or no? Can I say US is there? US and Russia are there. So US was on based on what? It has got land and water. Yes, Russia has land, but is Russia as powerful as it used to be? Definitely, Heartland's idea is playing out today. Today, Russia is reasserting itself. True or not? But important is China. After these two, three, will India also come into play? Yes, sir. Can I say West Asia has a very big control over the world when it comes to the resources of oil? अभी आपने देखा even Southeast Asia with Indonesia stopping its palm oil, did it create problems or not? True or not? So Spickman was of the view geography is the most fundamental factor of the foreign policy. Even more important than the size of the state is its location, both in the world and in a region. I want to tell you this is an advantage which Sri Lanka enjoys. This is an advantage which Singapore enjoys. Hear that? So he also looks at, the location is important, like Makinda said. He emphasized there are three sections. One is the European coastland, other is the Arab land, and third is Asiatic monsoon. These are the most important ones. Is everyone okay? So what are the three most important ones? One is this Europe, two is this Arab land, and three is this the monsoonal South and Southeast Asia. As per Rimland, he said these are the most important ones. These are the most populous ones. Yes or no? China, India, population bhi humne le liya. Markets, food suppliers, big food suppliers. Yes or no? Big raw material suppliers. Yes. Europe, big buyer, big purchaser. Big challenge in Europe also. And we are talking about the West Asia, Arab, Middle East. So he realized that all states have a tendency to expand. He also realized that there was true for both sea power and land power, and that shifts in the balance of power should change the dynamics of geopolitics. Therefore, heartland could not remain as a constant seat of power. He suggested that it is the rimland. Is everyone okay with the rimland? So what is more important? Rimland is more important. Do you know that China has become the largest importer of Russian oil now? जो पहले यूरोप हो रहा था, whatever excess वो जा रहा था, वो कहाँ पे जा रहा है? चाइना में जा रहा है. Can you see rimland is important? We are also saying that India is also party to this. हम भी अपना लेने को तैयार है oil उधर से. True or not? There is a conflict here itself. Russia not being able to sell it in Europe, that's also a problem. Is this area also important? Is Europe important? Have you heard Europe's inflation is going record high? Yes or no? Have you also heard because of climate change, Europe is experiencing all those droughts and all those things? Important. Whatever natak is happening in West Asia, be it the Syrian crisis, Lebanon crisis, and other crises which are happening perpetually with Iraq. Yes or no? उसके बाद ISIS, अफगानिस्तान, ये सब इसी में आने वाला वेस्ट एशिया. तो अफगानिस्तान would not be counted as West Asia, but is that important? लोगों का ध्यान उस पर रहता है या नहीं रहता? So he says that rimland is going to be important. Now everyone, I have to come to the topic, and my topic is what? My topic is geopolitical significance of Indian Ocean. In light of rimland, can I start my answer with that? So I've just brought in the idea of heartland, rimland, Spickman, Makinder, Mahan to you. I have brought those terms so that I can have a discussion with my class on this. That is why I'm talking about this. Is everyone okay? This was a recap of people who have joined me from paper 2. This was also a recap for students who have joined directly from paper 2, and a recap for people who have done it but forgotten it. So Africa's coasts are not included in rimland. है ना अफ्रीका, ये वाला एरिया है पूरा, इतना ही. ये सब सहारन अफ्रीका नहीं है. सब सहारन अफ्रीका is not there. Then where is it considered? इसके लिए बताता हूँ. These are called crescents, inner crescent and outer crescents. Do I have that diagram? ये यहाँ तक था desert. This is called outer crescent. Do you get that? एक है inner crescent. So inner crescent is rimland. Outer crescent is North America, South America, Sub-Saharan Africa, and Australia. Is everyone okay? Pinto, did you get that? So not whole of Africa, but only that much. Spickman divided the world into three types. Landlocked states usually face security problems. Island state normally faced potential pressure from the naval power. State which had both land and sea frontier. This is your rimland. Is everyone okay? So can I say that Australia would be island state and Russia would be the landlocked part? Is it necessary that only Russia can be heartland, not other countries in future? ललिता, वो तो थ्योरी बन गई, वो उसका नाम रख के चला गया heartland. Heartland has been used. तो थ्योरी है ना, ये तो है नहीं कि मैं उसको चेंज करूंगा. True. So heartland is this area. So he तो included that area, including now that USSR has broken into it. Correct? It is not just Russia. The entire Soviet Union was there. So let's have a quick break and then we get into the geopolitics of Indian Ocean. It is 16:43 now. 16:50. 7 minutes break. Hi everyone, are we back? Any questions on the geopolitics part of it? These names which have come new to you? Saman's idea is still relevant as countries focusing on naval power like China, India, and the formation of AUKUS. आकृति मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ that have you ever gone to the sea? Have you ever gone to the sea, the coastal area? Which coastal area have you visited? You know, so when people who haven't even seen the ocean, they talk about navy, strong navy, then I get to know that they don't know much. Get that? There were people who were able to get into the Indian state of Maharashtra, Mumbai terror attack. Coast इतना बड़ा होता है उसको देखना बड़ा challenge है. Number one. Second thing is having a strong navy is an important prerequisite to manage your border. But naval power पे ये focus कर रहे हैं. आपको लगता है आकृति in the age of intercontinental ballistic missile, I'll have to send my navy to win a battle? आपको लगता है मैं navy पे depend कर रहा हूँ? Why do I need navy? Quickly think about that. ठीक है, तो जो महान का कॉन्सेप्ट था ना, महान का कॉन्सेप्ट हुआ दैट यू वांट टू कंट्रोल द वर्ल्ड, आपके पास नेवी होगी. महान के कॉन्सेप्ट में इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल्स नहीं थे. ठीक है सर, देखिए इंडिया, यूएस, चाइना तो नेवी बना रहे हैं. नेवी इज इंपॉर्टेंट, नेवी इज इंपॉर्टेंट, नेवी इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी. नेवी इज इंपॉर्टेंट. रिमेंबर we talked about 2-3 things. We talked about 12 nautical mile, then another 12 nautical mile, and then 200 nautical mile. What are these? These are the maritime boundaries, no? Territorial waters, contiguous zone. Yes, hot coastal zone we bolte EEZ. So your navy takes care of this. Get it? Takes care of this. The entire coastline is all protected. That's one thing. यहाँ पर तो आपके पास कोस्ट गार्ड भी होता है, कोस्टल एरिया के लिए कोस्ट गार्ड भी है. कोस्ट गार्ड एंड नेवल फोर्सेस आर लुकिंग एट दिस. Get it? Another thing is safeguarding our interest. That is one thing which we are looking at. Second thing is in case of any war it happens, so then also Navy has to maintain its readiness on that. That also is going to be there. Naval forces are there. Another thing is that we are looking at this. Gulf of Aden, and here it was piracy. A lot of piracy happening here on the coast of Somalia. तो यहाँ पर बनाया हमने international corridor against piracy. Ships were told that you will be allowed to go only in these path, and Navy is standing over here. Navy का काम ये भी है to secure all lines of transport. ये जो choke points हैं, choke points को guard करना, piracy को देखना, even pollution. So that's also there. So Navy has got multiple roles. Don't think दुनिया में अपना जो है कब्जा कर लेना है. वो ब्रिटिश टाइम में अप्लाई होता था. ब्रिटिश टाइम में अप्लाई होता था. Why is India testing its missile? Why पाकिस्तान कहता है हमारे पास भी न्यूक्लियर मिसाइल्स है. पाकिस्तान के पास भी न्यूक्लियर मिसाइल्स कह रहा है पाकिस्तान. Yes, no? Why are they talking about that? वो छोटा सा देश है, क्या नाम है उसका? What is this? नॉर्थ कोरिया. नॉर्थ कोरिया बैठे बैठे उसके पास नेवी, उसके पास माँ है, उसके पास बटन है, द न्यूक्लियर बटन. यस, जब आप ऐसी बात करें सर आज भी इंपॉर्टेंट है सर, नेवी देखो, नेवल फोर्सेस, नेवल तो चाहिए. यू हैव सच ए ह्यूज कोस्ट लाइन, यू हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट योर कोस्ट लाइन, you have to take care of your huge exclusive economic zone, you have to take care of the ocean, the access of it, and India is a big country over there, right? So that's where India is looking at all those interests, and naval ships are there. So इसलिए मैंने कहा ना, when we have limited knowledge, we can say महान की वजह से हमें नेवी करनी है. नेवी तो करनी है, naval things are there. Yes. So anyway, did we understand by this a recap of this also, the coastal limits? तो अब हम देखते हैं कि इंडिया के पास, can we say India has the advantage located at the head, can I say almost center head of Indian Ocean? True. Many people will be very proud. The only ocean named after the country is Indian Ocean. ठीक है, पास्ट कर्मा हमारे इन कर्मों की वजह से इस ओशन का नाम हमारे नाम पे रखा है, ऐसा वो कह सकते हैं. But as I told you, this was considered as a British lake. British lake. Many names which are there, they were kept by those Britishers. So India was their biggest colony at that time. Yes, sir? And remember, this was also used as a way to reach that Spice Island, India. आने के लिए वास्को ड गामा इसी रास्ते से आ रहे थे. Yes, sir? So this was in the history, collective history, for a long, long time, and this ocean was named Indian Ocean. Is everyone okay? But many people have this as their first line when they start their answer. They always start that this is the only ocean named after a country, so this is geopolitical significance. You can consider that. I have absolutely no issues. So this is a vast ocean. First of all, some data should be there. 40 states, nearly 40% of the world's population. It has a huge maritime zone, coastal states of Africa in the west, eastern coast of Africa, along the Gulf to south, and then Southeast Asia, Southeast Asia, and the Persian Gulf, then extending to Australia. Indian Ocean region, IOR means Indian Ocean region, serves as the first line of defense to build upon existing national, regional, and international measures, thereby enhancing coordination and supporting harmonized international maritime safety and security collaboration के लिए भी important है. So geopolitics of Indian Ocean is not just India. First of all, it is not just India. It's 40 states that are there. It is when we are talking about 3 continents, Africa, Asia, Australia, they are involved in this. And their issues are there, and they have collaborations also. Do we have collaborations? So your GS teacher, IR teacher will tell you AUKUS and all that, and तुम बहुत मजे से चल रहे हो AUKUS. अरे कभी जाके तो देखो तेरी Navy होती क्या? What is Navy? It has to operate with collaboration. When a search and rescue operation happens, उसमें भी navies collaborate. When we are looking at sudden cyclones happening and you have to rescue someone, ये हो जाएगा, aircraft falls down, they have to collaborate. So please don't think that Navy is just about having a bomb over there. It is a very, very important instrument of collaboration. It has strategic role, it has political role. अभी मुझे एक बात बताओ, scientific role भी तो कर रहा है, spy का काम कर रहा है ना, चाइना का ship. What kind of a ship is this? It is a research ship. It is a reconnaissance ship. It can look at all the things, what is in the bottom, what is in the air, the topography and all those things. So Navy को ये मत समझिए आप कि सिर्फ यही काम करता है. That is what I'm saying. Navy is a bigger thing, and Indian Ocean geopolitics is all about collaboration and competition also. Collaboration and competition. And can I say, because of the shared geopolitics, can countries come together? AUKUS is that thing. India wanted an alliance with South Asia. Yes or no? We wanted ASEAN. Yes or no? But ASEAN is what Pakistan. Pakistan is at times working, against the interest of ASEAN in general and India in particular. So why should we be there? So remember, have you heard of BIMSTEC also? That was the Bay of Bengal initiative. True or not? We said, Pakistan को हटाओ, इधर BIMSTEC भी करना है. So please understand, those naval alliances are much bigger alliances. Get that? Is everyone okay? So they will have strategic role, they will have political role, and I also want to tell you they will have ecological role. Pollution, conservation. Under what? UNCLOS. What is UNCLOS? United Nations Convention on Laws of Seas. Paper 1, I told you about that. UNCLOS के chapter है. और किसके chapter है? MARPOL. What is MARPOL? International Law Controlling Marine Pollution. Everyone, please get that. So if you are writing an optional answer, please understand geopolitics of Indian Ocean does not mean कि Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after India. बहुत महान है धरती माता और ये और वो, उसके आगे बढ़ना है. Geopolitics of Indian Ocean is about competition and collaboration. It is about coordinating and supporting harmonized activities when it comes to various other things related to safety and security. What are we looking for? Strategic, political, and UNCLOS and MARPOL also into that. Is everyone okay with that? Did you understand? So how important? So say for example, what are the issues? Important issues. So geopolitics of Indian Ocean and how does India manifest it? I'm showing it to you on a map. Get that? India we are looking at. So when we are looking at number 7, Maldives and Seychelles, Indian Navy and Indian Air Force are engaged in establishing presence of counter piracy. Do you get that? Air Force is also involved in this. So we have the idea of a aircraft carrier. Do we get that? What did we get that? Piracy. We are involved. East Coast, Gulf of Aden, Somalia. What did I tell you? Piracy. Can I also say choke point? Global trade. Is everyone with me? True. So choke point, can I say, as we are saying, crucial sea lane. Sea lane should be kept open and safe. That is important. Geopolitics. Do we get that? Can I say Sri Lanka, Indian Navy is building a port in Trincomalee, and then China's presence over there in Hambantota? Is it important? Get that? My EEZ already is there. I hope you understand EEZ, exclusive economic zone. Can I say the fragile ecosystem of Andaman and Nicobar? And if you remember, not only that, Indonesia border Great Channel, it is very close to Sumatra is also there, and this is where the tsunami start from. True or not? Let us look at this number 2, which we are looking at, Strait of Malacca. Is it also a crucial sea lane? Very important sea lane. Okay. Now, everyone, this is China. So this is East China Sea. This is South China Sea. In South China Sea, ONGC Videsh has invested in Vietnam. So I'll be interested in this also. So अगर हमारी interest है तो South China Sea से, should we be connected or not? So this should stay connected or not? This becomes important. Is everyone with me on this or not? So what we are talking about is, whenever we are talking about this whole area, there is a lot of interest, strategic interest, political interest, ecological interest, economic resource-wise interest that is there in Indian Ocean. That is why the geopolitics of Indian Ocean becomes important. And I said, as a rule, we insisted ये होना क्या चाहिए, इसमें कोई outsider नहीं आना चाहिए. थोड़ा सा मैं आपको history देना चाहता हूँ. Everyone, let's have a history of it. So civilizational relations. कहने से Indian Ocean से ही हड़प्पा की हम बात करते हैं. हड़प्पन civilization. Have you heard of a port called Lothal? Yes or no? तब भी trade होता था between Arabs and the Harappans. That was there. There has been an ancient tradition of trade in this. Religious missions, cultural exchanges, and regional and colonial influences also came from here. So Indian Ocean has a historical significance. Entry to colonial powers, yes. Cultural exchanges were happening. So all these, as I said, geopolitics also includes the historical aspect. Britishers came. This was called the British Lake. But then decolonization happened. Decolonization happened, and now the focus of Americans decided to come towards Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Ocean. Get that? This is where India said that we should not be doing that. Instead of joining any of the parties, we joined NAM. Remember? There, the first conference of heads of NAMs happened, littoral state, and we said that Indian Ocean should be a zone of peace. What do we mean by zone of peace? There should be no race for maritime territory. Is everyone okay? So India did not want anyone, any outside state to come into it until unless you have a genuine maritime influence in that. And India was able to get through it, push it through the NAM conference and taken it to the UN also. Do we get that? But we are looking at zone of perpetual conflict also. This has been the zone of perpetual conflict. Initially colonization, then decolonization. There was a conflict of resources. There has been an issue of delimitation of maritime boundaries. Then we are also looking at the areas having hazards, containment of communism. So this was also what zone? Can I call this as Rimland? Yes or no? So in Rimland, US invested in this. Why US was always concerned about West Asia? जल्दी से बताइए, West Asia or oil? Yes or no? AFPAC, Afghanistan, Pakistan. AFPAC for what? Russia को control करना था. They wanted to remember that Afghanistan Russia wars to control that also, communism को control करना. That's also been there. So what we are looking at is there have been trouble. So West Asia, has it been trouble? So they created what? Israel, Palestine, or Arab issue. Did they create that or not? Now are they interested in that? US is not interested in that. Why? Because US already has a lot of oil for itself. US is a leading oil producer. US के लिए कोई tension ही नहीं है. Now US is not interested in any of these. Is everyone with me on this? Are we clear? If any questions, please ask. Now we are looking at Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean region faces many traditional and non-traditional safety and security challenges, including piracy, armed robberies, terrorism, big problem, human trafficking, irregular movement of persons, drug trafficking, illicit trafficking of wildlife, trafficking of weapons, crimes in the fishery sector, degradation of ocean health, unlawful exploitation of marine resources, and climate change, which are related to repercussions. Everyone, do you get the issues? And can you see, Akriti, why only Mahan is not important? Navy ke kitne kaam hai? It is not just about that. Please understand. So when we are talking about the geopolitical significance, everyone, from this slide, do you get the points? Piracy, robbery, terrorism, human trafficking, irregular movement. अब इसमें आप क्या कहो? रैटजेल ने कहा था और बढ़ाते हैं. True or not? हम अपना 200 nautical mile की जगह 400 करेंगे. वो सब रैटजेल की कहानी. Forget that. These are the real issues. The importance of Indian Ocean as a major transit area. Another very significant aspect is it is a major transit area for international trade. Yes, half of the world's container ships, 1/3 of bulk cargo, 2/3 of oil. Remember, India, China, Japan, big consumers, and Korea. होगा या नहीं होगा? Do you have to run anywhere? Content यहाँ पर. Context I have created for you. Content also created for you. And tell me, can India deal with it all alone? Can India deal with it all alone? No, we cannot. In fact, if somebody wants to create a tension, like China, have they come up with the idea of string of pearls? Is it a geopolitical or geostrategic issue with India or not? True. So first they said that the Chinese spy ship is coming to Sri Lanka. Yes or no? Did you hear that? China का जहाज आ रहा है. So this was like, अरे यार, we are giving so much Sri Lanka को इतना aid दे रहे हैं. Sri Lanka is still doing that. Next day Sri Lanka said that okay, we are not allowing that. So everyone see, अब मोदी जी ने एकदम से रुकवा दिया and everything. And I told you, will Sri Lanka stop for India? रास्ता तो वो भी निकालेगा. And will China stop at that? Remember that class? I said China will not stop. China has already given them so much loans. True or not? Will they have to find a midway or not? So they found a midway. Did that ship come or not? That ship came. Did Indian naval ship also go in that area or not? We also went. तो ये posturing चलती रहेगी. Do we get that? So please understand, a naval war is not like a land war, soldier to soldier standing like that. It's a very, very different things that we are talking about. 90%, now talk about India. 90% of India's trade by volume and 90% of India's oil import takes through sea. However, maritime security creates serious concerns as we will prosper only when the seas are safe, secure, and free for all. So India has always stood by freedom of navigation. ये सब जगह होना चाहिए. ऐसा ना? Freedom of navigation has to be there. Safe and secure is there. That is where India's naval concerns lie. That is where the strategic this thing. And how will this be achieved? How will this be achieved? When no power like China, which is against the interest of India, which wants to encircle India, comes into this. But इसमें फिर China कैसे आएगा? China will not come directly. China will extend what? Its sphere of influence. True or not? How will China exert its sphere of influence? China will start giving loan to Sri Lanka, make its presence felt in Maldives, yes, make its presence felt in other islands. Myanmar के Cocos Island में China अपना base बनाना चाहेगा. They will start making bases. Yes or no? Do you get that? Similarly, if you heard of, as I mentioned, Diego Garcia, the base of US is there. So they will all try to do that. So Mintu says BRI. BRI is on land ना बेटा. Belt and Road Initiative वो तो land पे कर रहा है. So that is why pact is under consideration in UN for law in higher seas. क्या pact आने वाला है इसमें higher seas का? UN में high seas का क्या law आने वाला है? High seas belong to the ocean only, to the UN only. Yes or no? Maritime security includes international peace and security. Sovereignty must be respected, territorial integrity, political independence, security from crimes at sea, security of resources, environmental security, while maritime safety is concerned with training, transport, construction, equipment related issues, assistance in distress situation also. Do we get that? और इसके लिए हमने क्या बनाया? एक Indian Ocean Rim Association. What is rim? The periphery. The association aims to build upon existing national, regional, and multilateral measures to support more effective utilization of resources for enhanced cross-border cooperation, sharing of knowledge. Sir, ये knowledge sharing कहाँ पर होगा? Have you heard of this thing called as deep sea mining, coral bleaching? Yes, sustainable marine fishing, search and rescue, research and development, especially ocean bathymetry. Do you remember what is bathymetry? Everyone, what is bathymetry? Depth measurement. Do we have specific things coming into this? अच्छा, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कोई प्लान है इसमें? जल्दी से बताओ, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया क्या कर रहा है? इंडिया वाज द फर्स्ट नेशन टू गेट अ लाइसेंस of extracting polymetallic nodules. Another thing India is looking at what? India is looking at port construction. इसमें पोर्ट भी आएंगे. इंडिया का कौन सा पोर्ट आ रहा है ईरान में? चाबहार मेंशन होना चाहिए. ट्रिंको माली. एंड इवन हम मालदीव्स में ब्रिजेस बना रहे between islands. That is also there. So these are the things we must talk about. Indonesia, India, joint anti-piracy. Where? Malacca Strait. Malacca Strait में हम anti-piracy exercises कर रहे हैं. We are doing anti-piracy exercise. After that, सोमालिया के पास हमने क्या किया है? सोमालिया में ट्रेड कॉरिडोर किया है. एंड हम लोग का एक अंटार्कटिक मिशन भी तो है. True. Do we send our ships for Antarctic mission? Which we have recently said that फालतू का मिशन नहीं जाएगा. There will be no need to send any missions just like that. Yes or no? So INS सागर की जो आप बात कर रहे हैं, all those things, research vessels are going over there. Everyone, geopolitics of Indian Ocean, we have others also coming in. Other nations have I mentioned the issues, the real issues. It is not just about naval posturing, joint exercises. Have you heard of India US conducting joint exercises? Yes. What is the meaning of joint exercise? करते क्या हो? एक दूसरे पे rocket fire करते हैं? No, they don't. They are looking at, if something is happening, trafficking of weapons is happening, how will we control that? Unlawful exploitation of marine resources, how will we control that? How will we monitor the weather changes in all those things? Very, very important. और मैं ये भी बताना चाहता हूँ, another thing which I want. India Meteorological Department is the nodal agency for Indian Ocean region. India Meteorological Department is the nodal agency for weather-related issues in Indian Ocean region. बड़ी agency है भाई. Is everyone okay with this? Geopolitics of Indian Ocean. Do you have a clue how to make a map also? Have I brought history also? If I want to bring culture, does India have cultural ties with East Asia through the sea? Does India have cultural and trade ties with West Asia and Africa through the sea? Should they be mentioned? Should they be mentioned or not? They should be mentioned. And can you see important with Sri Lankan economy going down? Think about it. Sri Lankan economy going down with Port of Colombo going down. Is it important that Indian ports play a role there? Current affairs also can go into this. Geo-economics, geostrategic, and political तो है ही उसमें. Everyone with me on this? India's roles in world affairs. So India क्या role कर सकता है? What role can it play? First of all, we are committed to maritime security, freedom of navigation, unimpeded unlawful commerce, and peaceful settlements of disputes. If there are disputes, they should be settled as per UNCLOS. As party to UNCLOS, India has promoted utmost respect for UNCLOS, which established the international legal order for seas and oceans. People who don't know this, वो भी मैंने आपको बता दिया. In paper 1, we did talk about UNCLOS. Those boundaries are there, other things also. We want to develop a comprehensive geostrategic policy that promotes mutually beneficial engagements in an umbrella of issues: trade, culture, security, environment. All the issues have I talked of. इसी में आपका ऑफिस भी हेल्प करेगा या नहीं करेगा? इंडिया, यूएस, ऑस्ट्रेलिया जब आते हैं तो they do come. We can talk them that you can talk to us and engage in this. Maritime security is key dimension for India's bilateral ties with these countries. Regularized bilateral maritime exercises are happening over there, strengthen the dialogue. Indian government has extended Indian outreach as Sagar, security and growth for all in region. India's vision of Indian Ocean region is built on fostering cooperation, assisting our maritime neighbors and island states. And I also want to bring in here climate change leading to mean sea level rise. Geopolitical significance of Indian Ocean region, role of India in that. That is what we are talking about. We brought the theories and other aspects also. Mackinder himself, or फिर से theory. Stickman said China controlling South China Sea to gain power of resources. So India is a part of Rimland. India is a part of Rimland, and we need to see that Rimland is important. Yes or no? So why only China? India also is important or not? But the fact is, to counter China, how do you counter China? How do you counter China? China दबा के पैसा लगा रहा है, इंडिया को भी लगाना पड़ेगा. That's one way. Second is soft power, no? Cultural roots, other things, and also the image of India. India is not hegemonistic. Yes or no? India's intention is not to take over. India's intention is collaboration. So that is where India should come across as a very, very responsible state. ठीक है? क्योंकि चाइना का एक्सपेंशन है सब तरफ. So this is what we are looking at. यहाँ बांग्लादेश से भी कॉरिडोर निकालता है, श्रीलंका से भी कॉरिडोर निकाला, उसने यहाँ पर जिबूती में भी प्लान किया है. This is what China has done. So India needs to counter this also. Can I see this? So countering this is also a challenge for India. Is everyone with me on this? This is China's South China Sea problem. What is South China Sea problem? South China means what is the problem? China. China says South China Sea belongs to us. Do we get that? Philippines says that we also have, as per UNCLOS, what do we have? EEZ, yes or no? Vietnam also says हमारे पास भी है. Everyone claims its maritime boundary, but China says this whole area belongs to us. Yes or no? They have a historic 9-dash line, and China wants to occupy all that. So there are we are looking at these Paracel Islands, Spratly Islands. Yes, many islands China has gone into. Some of them are artificial islands also. Yes or no? This is the shoal also. So all those things have been contentious. Do we need to know them? No, we need not worry about them. But just to give you what is China doing in this. So apart from these influences, can I say these influences enter IOR also? So here China is trying to show itself as a naval power. And here what is China doing? China is investing in them. What is China doing? China is investing in them. Port facility in Bangladesh, radar and refueling station in Myanmar. जो भी वो कर रहा था, remember? श्रीलंका में भी क्या करने आया? Refueling के लिए आया. That ship has to come to refueling. Radar station and refueling. Thailand, Cambodia, Pakistan, host of projects. China's jewel in Pakistan is the Gwadar port. True or not? So China is investing on the land also as well as the coast, and there we are looking at this. थोड़ा सा geopolitics of South China Sea मैंने इसमें डाला था. South China Sea, you can see this if we are looking at this. So India's ONGC Videsh, I told you, has invested in Vietnam. Get that? In South China Sea, they are having regional collaboration with them, resources, military might they are showing there, infrastructure support, and you can see nowadays तो ताइवान के साथ क्या कर रहा है आजकल, रोज practice कर रहा है उधर. True. So if a question comes in GS also, because Taiwan that is happening over there, so I just mentioned those islands, Paracel Islands, Spratly Island, and the Scarborough Shoal. They have issues with Japan also. This is the 9-dash line, which they claim that this is the boundary. And there are resources there: polymetallic nodule, oil, metallic sulfide, and China is looking at resources. Geopolitical hegemony. It is showing its military might. So everyone, how do we show our military might? How do we show our military might? Suppose the ship is going. Suppose the ship is going over here. So the ship can be stopped by the navy. They can be stopped by the navy, interrogated by the navy. They will ask, where are you? Why are you? They can even detain the ship. ये ईरान करता है. Iran detains ships in Hormuz में. Hormuz में जाके उधर पकड़ लेगा. Do we get that? So this is what they can do. This is where their navy is constantly patrolling this area. If you challenge them, that is where the issue will arise. So right now, say for example, when we saw the US speaker landing in Taiwan, that is one such event. One such event that their navy is patrolling. You know, somebody, you saw in the news, the Chinese warship naval forces are patrolling that area. They are all the time there. They are constantly there. इतनी सारी population है, कहीं तो काम पे लगाएगा ना? Yes or no? They have a lot of money, investment. कहाँ जा रहे हैं? Sea में भी रहते Chinese. So that's what they are doing. Sea में जाओ, अपना मछली पकड़ो, उधर ही खा लेना, कोई टेंशन नहीं. Everyone, did we understand the meaning of geopolitics, geoeconomics? काफी कुछ समझ आया या नहीं आया? If not, then please tell me. Let us go back to the syllabus. Geopolitics of South Asia, Indian Ocean realm. I have included connection with South China Sea also. Can we see India's role in world affairs? India's role in world affairs through this also? Collaboration, contribution. But sir, this was only maritime. Only maritime. बाकी GSC पे लोगे कुछ? Will you not take from there in world affairs? People who don't know how to make map. उनके लिए मैंने मैप डाला था, वर्ल्ड अफेयर वाला मैप. नंबर 9 क्या है? Libya. Indian Air Force evacuated Indians this year and Navy also sent ship. ये 2020 का है. क्या है? 2010. Number 10 is Lebanon. Navy evacuated Indians in 2006. Israel Hezbollah war में भी. Yes. अभी आपने देखा होगा एडन में निकाले थे हमने, गल्फ ऑफ एडन में. From the Aden port, did we have an operation there because of Saudi-Yemen war? ऐसा था? क्या था उस ऑपरेशन का नाम? If anyone remembers? यमन से एडन पोर्ट में जो हमने निकाले थे. Yes. और अभी हमने क्या किया यहाँ से? यूक्रेन से भी निकाले हमने. Indian in global affairs. Tajikistan undeclared interest in an air base. India also runs a military hospital in Tajikistan. यहाँ पे military hospital चला रहे. Make sense? अफगानिस्तान का can you see the links I have removed? श्रीलंका में तो अफगानिस्तान का links हमने कहा हट जाते हैं. अफगानिस्तान में लेने का कोई फायदा नहीं. True. बाकी करंट अफेयर्स में मोदी जी जहां जहां गए हैं वो गए. आकृति बोल रहे इसका नाम था ऑपरेशन राहत. Okay. So there it was said that Saudi Arabia was bombing Yemen. Saudi Arabia was bombing Yemen, and Modi ji called up the Saudi prince and the king. कि एक काम करो, stop the bombing, हमें आदमी निकालने. Yes, ऐसा आया था. फिर हम लोगों ने आदमी औरतें सब निकाले. Everyone. When India went for that rescue operation, when India went for this mission Rahat, where we were evacuating Indians. From that region, suddenly many countries, including developed European countries, called up India. Hello, निकाल ही रहे हो तो अपने भी निकाल लिया. Operation Rahat, which started for Indians only, but we were able to evacuate many from other nationalities also. So everyone, and we've always been there in peacekeeping forces, UN peacekeeping forces or not? अभी मैंने आपको बोला UNSC में we have been talking about the sovereignty of every country should be respected. We've also associations like BRICS. Yes. और हम G15 में भी जाते हैं. We go and put in those G15, G7 talks. जो भी करते हैं हम सब में करते हैं. Can you bring the GS part here in that answer? That is the intention. From the geopolitics of Indian Ocean, you should be able to answer this also. So that was the intention behind international things, and then I will come to the national also. Is everyone okay with these two parts? Last two parts. India's role in world affairs. So can I bring International Solar Alliance? Yes, you can bring in. So can I say we are vaccine guru? Yes, you can call. जो आपको बोलना बोल लेना. ठीक है. We are a sporting nation. हमें सारे कॉमनवेल्थ के मेडल मिल गए. ऐसा वैसा मत कहना. कॉमनवेल्थ में मिल जाते हैं. ओलंपिक में चैलेंज हो जाता है. Don't worry sir, ओलंपिक में भी लाएंगे. बिल्कुल लाएंगे. We want all those golds. आ जाएगा. ठीक है. क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म अभी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. We will do it tomorrow. Everyone fine up to this? Now comes that international के बाद national issue. Why is India a federal state? Why is India a federal country? Does geography have a role to play? Geographical basis of Indian federalism. जल्दी से बताइए. Quickly, everyone. Where do you find that India has a geographical basis? Vast area. So what? So first of all, what is the meaning of federalism? पहले तो ये बताओ. Power distribution. Okay. So your federating units are autonomous. Are they as autonomous like US? Are they as autonomous like US? US federalism, Indian federalism. So can we say we are quasi-federal? Can we say we have a unitary bias? A union bias? Yes. Can I say GST ने और भी ज़्यादा सेंटर को पावर दिया? True. Okay. But why did we go for this? Why did we go for a quasi-federal one with a union bias? Why not we went for a union only? Why did we not go for that? So we have this union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And yes or no? Imagine this was a state till 2019. This was a state till 2019. Yes or no? After that, it has become a UT. After that, it has become a UT. Tell me one thing. State में कोई बुराई थी? Being a state, coming under center. So tendency to remain independence of state and threat to unity of India. So perfect. So you thought that unity of India was threatened. So Jammu and Kashmir should be under the center. And the unity is threatened everywhere. The country should be all tied together. फिर तो सब कुछ center ही होना चाहिए. Everything should be centered. I have no issues. What is wrong? Is center not able to govern JNK? Is center not able to govern JNK? इतना बढ़िया कर रहे हैं. पूछो मोदी जी से. नॉर्थ ईस्ट सेम प्रॉब्लम. नॉर्थ ईस्ट भी सेम प्रॉब्लम है. सो नॉर्थ ईस्ट को भी यूटी बना दो. बना सकते हैं. एंड सेंटर कैन कंट्रोल. ट्रू और नॉट? पंजाब में अगर टेरर इश्यूज होते हैं, पंजाब को भी यूटी बना दो. मेड यूटी सो दैट स्पेशल स्टेटस ऑफ जेएनके इज रिमूव्ड. अच्छा, स्पेशल स्टेटस इसका हटाना था. तो स्पेशल स्टेटस हटा के भी वो रख सकते थे. रीजनल एस्पिरेशन ऑफ पीपल. ओके, रीजनल एस्पिरेशन ऑफ पीपल. ठीक है. व्हाई डिड वी गो फॉर फेडरल? ईज ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. Perfect. Huge size, so the country cannot be administered. Perfect. That's also there. What else? Regional disparities, so we went for this. There were regional disparities, so we went for it. Sonal is saying there is diversity. Sonal is saying that there is cultural diversity. Okay. What else? What else? So there were conflicts. Which conflicts? What conflicts? Everyone. Religious conflicts. इसलिए हमने. That is why we went for a federation. Racial and ethnic diversity was there. States are in different economic stages. So Akriti, there were no states, no. There were center only. We could have had a center. Okay, everyone contributed. Thank you. How would I answer this? Geographical basis of Indian federalism. How would I answer this? Geographical basis of Indian federalism. How would I answer this? इसको कैसे आंसर करूंगा? Okay, physical basis and human basis. So what are the physical basis, Akriti and all others? Physical basis. So first is we have a huge size. So the size is huge. So unitary is union, central is not good. Not a good idea. ठीक है. Akriti is saying physiographic variation. Akriti, I have a simple question. This is Maharashtra. These are Western Ghats in Maharashtra. Here we have some plateau region. Here we have those Ajanta Satmalas and all those things. So if that is the region, we have a state with a lot of diversity. True or not? Coming together and holding together nationally as we are diverse. अरे बेटा geographical basis पूछना तुम शायरी कर रहे हो. I'm just saying, you said there are physiographic variation. Then so the state of Maharashtra should also be broken. True or not? So why is India broken into states? Why is India broken into states? Quickly tell me. Why did we need states? Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh. Why did we need that? Oh, welfare. Resource distribution. Okay, thank you. So before I come to physical basis, everyone please pay attention. Abhi says every state has different physical and human geography. Abhi, are you even listening to the question? First you gave Shairi. Are you listening to the question? What is the geographical basis of creation of state? Yes, sir. Were states created on the basis of physical geography? ऐसा तो नहीं बना ना. Question क्या पूछ रहे हैं? Diversity, this and that. So everyone, I want to tell you that if you have a box and I say divide it into 20 parts, yes, you can divide it into triangles. Can you divide it into triangles? Yes or no? You can divide it into rectangles also. You can divide it into hexagons also. Yes or no? True. And you can divide it into circles also. Everyone with me on this? Are you with me? You can divide it into squares also. Everyone, please pay attention. My task was divide this area into 20 boxes. So you chose any parameter. Now listen to my question specially. Now my original question has changed. Divide this area already divided. Divide this area already divided into some areas. Now what would you do? It's a problem. Okay. The area already has this. What will you say? Yeah, these are very different. Hello, this is the hexagon area. This is the square area. This is the rectangle area, circle area. Everyone, India was never given to Indians as a blank sheet. India was never given to Indians as a blank sheet. Never in history, India was on the map which you see. अखंड भारत तो जिसके दिमाग में वो दिमाग में. Can I say India from the ancient times itself, from the settlement times itself, lived in river valleys? Yes. And who was living in river valleys? The Aryans? No. Initially Negritos, the Proto-Australoids, the Mediterraneans. They were living or not? They were pushed aside. They were pushed in the central India. Yes. What became the battleground? The Indus-Ganga plain. Indus-Ganga plain was the battleground. Ancient region. Were there kingdoms in the ancient also? Before the kingdoms, when you hear of early Vedic time also, is there the idea of people coming together, sabhas and samitis? Yes. Is there an idea of Ganrajya, republics at that time also? Mahajanpadas and Ganrajya. And were there all these ideas of Ashwamedh Yagya and all that? One fellow will conquer also. Wo bhi tha. Were there small little kings also? Yeah. 1947, India becomes independent. We have to adopt it. And you are telling me, sir, wo to ye tha, wo tha. अरे पहले बना हुआ था. True or not historically? Ancient, medieval comes, medieval rulers are there. True. What happens? They are moving out. Now tell me one thing. We are coming in. Negritos coming. Get that? Negritos, Proto-Australoids coming. They are pushed. And along with them, the languages are also differentiating. Down south, which languages reach? The Dravidian family. Yes. And in the north, what is the Indo-European or Indo-Aryan? Indo-European language. Yes. Hindi, English, Bengali, Indo-European continues. And in between center, we have the old languages also. The tribals having their language. True. अभी तो आप सिर्फ संस्कृत सोचते हो, आपको बताया जाता है संस्कृत ही लैंग्वेज है. अरे इंडिया में इतनी लैंग्वेजेस निकल के आएंगी गिन नहीं सकते. And then the influence of the Tibeto-Myanmari race and language will also come. अभी तो मैं ब्रिटिशर्स लाए नहीं. I have not brought in Britishers. Languages are different, races are different, cultures are different, and Vindhya and Satpura are a barrier between northern culture and southern culture. They don't allow them to mix. Rivers break India's language into dialects. True. Geography and history together, space and time, are creating a ground for diversity in India. Branches come, religions come. So what do we have? We have Hinduism. Hinduism से branch out होकर क्या निकल रहा है? Jainism, Buddhism is coming out, moving out. Sikhism also comes later on. Yes, sir. When Islam comes, Islam, Sikh, we are seeing that fighting also happens. Christians come through the Europeans. So many pockets being created. Linguistic pockets, religious pockets. Certain places Ganrajya. Ganrajya is People's Republic. Mahajanpadas. But some places Samrajya. बड़े बड़े राजाओं का साम्राज्य. Do we agree or not? Big kingdoms, empires. The Mughal Empire expands under Aurangzeb. And they say that Aurangzeb had the biggest one. And then the Marathas come in. Marathas capture their pound of flesh and Marathas become bigger. True or not? Kisme batoge? Were you thinking the Marathas were thinking about all those things? Like India will be a federation or not? But even in Marathas, or even in the Mughals or others, did we have small little units like Suba, Subedar, Kiledar? Yes or no? ये किला इसका, सूबा इसका, forts, yes, everything was there. Mansabdar, Talukdar, होंगे या नहीं होंगे? So administrators were there, administrative systems were there. They were different. When the king changed, the kingdom changed, new systems were coming. Taxes, so many taxes were there. Yes or no? वो चौथ और सरदेश मुख and all those जो तुम पढ़ते हो, जजिया tax and all that, इतना ही history, geography teacher को इतना ही पता होना चाहिए. True or not? Ancient times say that even the Vedic time people were supposed to pay a part of their produce to the king. होगा या नहीं होगा? Because king has to administer in cash or in kind. People will offer services also. Is everyone okay? ये चल रहा है, सब कुछ चल रहा है. And then Britishers come as traders. They see that there are small little kings and kingdoms. What do we call them? Princely states. Princely states had their own administration, they had their own system, they had their own roads, they had their own tax collection, everything. And the Britishers come in. Britishers come in. पहले क्या है? इनके पास मुंबई है और कोलकाता है और क्या है? मुंबई, कोलकाता and चेन्नई. Yes. उसके बाद they keep on bringing reforms. Yes. So पहले उन्होंने क्या किया? 1858. Before 1858, did you hear of some reforms? 1858 तक. तब तक कोलकाता was kept as a seat of power. Yes, sir. Kolkata was kept as a seat of power. But later on, they realized in 1857, they said if we centralize too much, then 1857 happened. True or not? That's a very big challenge. 1857 was a very, very big challenge for them. So they learned their lesson. In the post this thing 1857, they decided to bring in some constitutional reforms. So ये जो federalism की बात हुई है, just is the audio video fine? This whole federal setup, did you realize that the Britishers used it to their benefit? They were able to have alliances with the kings. Yes, some kings, their alliance. Otherwise, whatever was the British administered territory, initially they tried to bring everything under Fort Williams under the Kolkata regime. Then they said, no, the governors will have autonomy. And remember, you would have heard in various Government of India acts, the Indian, those freedom fighters, as well as the administrators or the politicians of that time, they were also demanding autonomy. Yes or no? And then came the idea of Swaraj. Purna Swaraj also came. All those things kept on coming or not. So idea was that the Britishers also realized that a federal system will help in better administering the territories. So they were doing that. And now when we are independent, in fact in 1935 itself, we could see that we are going to go for a federal setup. Yeah, that our constitution is also ready. Immediately when we are independent, now there is a big problem. Three list bhi ban gaye the, sab kuch ho gaya. Big problem, British administered territories. Princely states are also there. There are many princely states. British administered territories also, which have now under the new government under Nehru and Sardar Patel. Yes, sir. So the big task comes of uniting them and now reorganizing them. Do you see what did Sardar Patel do? In Subco, this whole box, which had all these shapes, triangle, abstract, and all that, he had to bring them under one. Before the state reorganization happened later. First, he had to consolidate India. And everyone believed that with such diversity, it is only a federation that can work. Do you all agree or not? Now, what are the geographical basis? Today's homework is what has been the geographical basis of federalism in India. पर क्या आएंगे? थोड़ा सा GS का भी revise कर लेना, polity का. I will be giving you the geographical side of it. Please revise how did state reorganization happen in India. So one is, why did we go for federalism in India? I think the seeds were laid in the Montague-Chelmsford reform itself. जो Montague-Chelmsford reforms थे और reforms भी क्या थे, report थी. In that they said that okay, we should go into that. I think up to 1918, 1919 है ना? I think so. Then I think by 1935 we had talked about a federation, and then we went ahead with things in this. And then, post independence, how did we manage what? Princely states. This is federalism. This will come from polity, GS polity. Think about the geographical basis. Where can you see geography in this? And then when this was done, when all the states, when unification happened, unification of all princely states happened, India में जब उनका assimilation हो गया, then state reorganization commission. ये भी पॉलिटी में पढ़ाते हैं. People who read लक्ष्मीकांत उसमें भी दिया हुआ state reorganization. पोस्ट इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस इंडिया, एनसीईआरटी, जो मर्जी ले लो यार. पॉलिटी, जीएस पॉलिटी, आपको एनसीईआरटी चाहिए, एनसीईआरटी ले लो. पोस्ट इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस एनसीईआरटी, और यू कैन इवन हैव लक्ष्मीकांत. I have no issues. I'm saying you read the polity part of it. I will try and bring the geography part of it. Is everyone okay? So these are the syllabus topics that we are going to do tomorrow. What is the syllabus? I've just given you a hint so that you also do your homework, because many of you are absolute beginners. You don't know much about things. तो इसके लिए थोड़ा सा आपको मदद मिलेगी. दो टॉपिक जो हैं, state reorganization and geographical basis, they are connected. In fact, the third one is also connected, but let's have this. Then when it comes to emergence of new states and regional consciousness, that I will bring in the next class. So everyone, tomorrow we are going to look at this, and then we will also look at cross-border terrorism. This is one area which I will be talking about. Is everyone clear with the homework? And do you see the reason why I wrote in the message also today that there is a serious overlap between history, polity, economy in this whole area? So I want you to do that. Questions? देखें अभी. अच्छा, आज एक question करना था, किया नहीं. Tomorrow I'll start the class with a question on Indian Ocean region. Discuss the emerging geopolitical scenario of Indian Ocean realm. Today, what I have talked, can you answer this question? Can you answer this question, everyone? Discuss the implication of India's strategic location with reference to Aliwar. Can you get that? Third, write a note on geopolitics of Indian Ocean realm. Assess the geopolitical. Everyone, can we do this? Okay. Comment on the basis of creation of new states. Examine geographical basis of Indian federalism. Geographical as it is आता है question. ये कल करेंगे. आज I've just given you some idea of this. Get that? So other things also you will understand. You can see even they bring out the geopolitical implications of Doklam dispute in context of Indo-China relation. You can imagine how much IR is coming even in your geography optional. Get that? Tomorrow we'll do cross-border terrorism also. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.